I told you guys a long time ago, and it's finally happened. The diamond market is crashing right before our eyes. And I'm gonna explain to you guys what this whole Guardian breaking news article was all about. Lego. So as I sip my wine here in this beautiful little Airbnb in the middle of downtown Bogota, Colombia, I want to make this impromptu video to explain to you guys what's happening with the diamond market. So if you guys haven't read it yet, The Guardian came out with a groundbreaking article that was talking about how the diamond market is crashing as we speak. Now guys, if you guys have been watching my videos for a very long time, you guys know I'm a big advocate of diamonds being created in a lab as opposed to being mined in the earth. Now why? Because I'm a big believer in ethical mined diamonds, and I saw the writing in the wall a very long time ago when I got into this jewelry business. There was something that itched down in the bottom of me that said, damn it, dog, there's something wrong with this diamond industry. And so I started doing some research and realized how these huge companies were manipulating the stockpiles of diamonds. And I began talking about these things. What I kept on thinking was like, if these companies have so much stockpile of diamonds, then are they really rare? I went down a rabbit hole of were they really rare or not? Of course, they are not. And then I realized how hard they were manipulating the market. And then comes the beauty of lab diamonds. Lab diamonds are chemically and optically the exact same thing. And they were being sold almost at 50%. This is back in 2019. Now, what does this Guardian article talk about? It claims that the natural diamond market has slipped 27% value, which is unbelievable. In addition to that, the lab diamond market has dropped 74%. So why are diamonds falling so much? What the hell is happening, and what did you predict years ago when you were talking about lab diamonds? Well, number one, lab diamonds were introduced as an alternative to natural, but it isn't something that mimics it, say for instance like a moissanite or something like that, or a CZ. This is the exact same stone. So I started thinking to myself, if it's the exact same stone and there's so many of them, then eventually people are going to not really care how natural it is. They're going to want something that's the exact same price and pay a lot less. So when the lab diamonds came out, they were only about 50% less than natural diamonds. But back then, there weren't that many companies making them like there are now. Of course, time went on, people started creating much easier and much more effective ways of creating the lab diamond, and the lab diamond prices has plummeted almost to the floor. Now, let's keep it a bean here. Lab diamonds have no resale value, but natural diamonds have slipped an insane amount. 1 carat of VS1 natural stone would roughly trade around 8 to 9 grand. Right now, you could pick that up between 6 to 7 grand. That's a crazy price difference. And why? What's happening right now? What's so important that we are now moving away from natural diamonds and going over to lab? About 45% of engagement rings now include lab diamonds. How insane is that? For me to even say that out loud is crazy. Guys, for starters, when people would talk about lab diamonds 5-10 years ago, you would get laughed at because they would say, oh, people want something that's mined from the earth, that we want all this value. It has all this value because it's so incredibly rare. But that all was a lie. And we're seeing it happen right now. We're seeing the lie crumble apart. Companies like De Beers is now being forced to sell because they are being devalued as we speak. It went from $7.6 billion evaluation to $5.8 billion. That's a crazy devaluation of profit and value. That is something that's going to hurt the diamond industry no matter where you are trading diamonds, whether it's India, Russia, it doesn't matter. An also big component of the lab diamond trade is that the new generation of buyers are coming along. No longer are the boomers buying diamonds like they were 20, 40 years ago. Now it's millennials and Gen Z. And guess what? I don't think these young kids, including myself, I consider myself still young at 37 years old, are wanting to purchase something that exploits humans throughout the world. No longer are we wanting to know that our diamonds are mined somewhere in Africa, and this whole rhetoric that's being pushed around that it's helping the economy as in Africa and anything like that, that's all a lie that's being perpetuated, and finally it's coming to light. The only people that are profiting off those mines in Africa are the owners of those companies, and those people are somewhere in Europe, somewhere in France, or somewhere in Russia, somewhere in the United States. Nobody really eats a lot like they're saying they are in Africa. It's just a reality of it. and people are catching wind to that, and they're sick of it. Then there's the actual economy that people are starting to smarten up with. This is what I've been speaking to you guys for such a long time. If you buy a natural diamond at $70,000, even with a GIA certification, you're going to come back, and in 3 years, now that the price is steadily declining, it's going to be even less. You're going to lose 70 to 80% of that. So say, for instance, your stone is $100,000. You got into some crazy debt. You have this $100,000 rock that when you go back and say, for instance, you get a divorce, you're only going to get about $20,000 or $30,000 back. That's $70,000 you just threw down the drain for a depreciating value like diamonds, lab diamonds. I'll give you the alternate example. That same stone that you just spent $100,000 in lab, you're going to spend about $5,000. Now you're not going to get any of it back when you go to resell it. I'm the first person to tell you that you're going to lose all of your money. However, all you lost was $5,000. Guys, this is happening right now. This statistic that just came out in the Guardian's article, I encourage you to read it, is legitimately groundbreaking. Diamond prices are falling because the gig is finally up. Now, I know that a lot of people out there are going to give me the same rhetoric that happens all the time. Oh, the diamond isn't the same when it's lab, or I want something that comes from the earth. Listen, I have no problem against natural diamonds. I have a true appreciation for them because, as I was mentioning to you before, I'm in Colombia right now, and I've learned because of this YouTube video that's going to be coming out of how we're going down to the mines, how cool it is to have something that's from the earth. I get that argument. If you want something that you want that's made over 1 million years as opposed to in a lab in China or India, I get it. But don't sell me on the fact that it's a great investment, because it's simply not. And the numbers are peaking for it. This types of change is changes that are going to affect the diamond market in insane ways. It's permanent damage. There's no way they're going to be able to change the perspective of people wanting to buy a lab or a natural diamond. Guys, Gen Z and millennials are here. They're the ones getting married. They're the ones buying diamonds. And they are starting to realize with videos on YouTube and articles like this that are telling you guys, hey, this is a depreciating value. And a lot of people have to suffer for you guys to wear a little diamond ring that say, hey, you know what? I don't care if it's made in China. I don't care if it's made in India. I just want it ethically sourced. I don't want people to have to die or to have to suffer or have to go into these crazy tunnels and pull these kind of stones out when at the end of the day, they're the most common stone out there, much more common than an emerald or a ruby or a sapphire. And they've been lying to me this whole time. Now I know the truth. We live in the information age, guys. And this is what we are talking about. Right now, more than ever, they are the ones that are buying, and they are the ones that are getting this information, and they know what is happening as we speak. This article is proof of that. Now, what are my predictions for the future? It's more the same. This is going to continue. And if you don't jump on the wave for lab diamonds or understand that there is going to be a permanent market for it, you're going to be left behind. People are going to want to move into the markets right now of buying lab diamonds over natural. Now, is there always going to be a market for natural diamonds? Of course there is, 100%. But people are shying away from that. Times are changing, and there's no way to reverse it. You either jump on the right train or you get left behind. There is always going to be a market for natural diamonds, but lab diamonds are here to stay, and they're going to continue to disrupt the market from here on out. I predict in the next 2 to 3 years, from 45% of lab diamonds being in the engagement world, it's now going to be 60 to 75%. That's how much you're going to see it. And this also includes all types of jewelry. Lab diamonds are going to be taking over. Probably within the next 3 to 4 years, natural diamond prices are going to be slashed by 50 to 60 to even 70%. It's happening now. Big retailers are catching on as well. Let's all appreciate the stone for what it is, but realize that there are much better options. One last point. For those people that think that I make a lot more money on lab diamonds as opposed to natural diamonds, and this is the reason why we made this, it can't be further from the truth. Think of it this way. You buy an $80,000 stone, you sell it back to the jeweler for $20,000, and he then resells it for another $80,000. The profit margins on natural diamonds are insane. Insane. You make a lot more money with natural diamonds. I just can't go to sleep at night knowing that I fucked someone for $80,000 because it's not true. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Let me know what you guys think. Is it dead? Am I being too gloomy about it? Let me know in the comments below. Let's fight in the comments because I'm ready. I'm vindicated, baby. Let's go.